Welcome into the Box Score, our 30th and final show, Murph. Seems like the year has flown by.
It really has, with the number of games and the number of schools that we have to cover. But it has been a blast, and we're really blessed, I think, to be able to do what we do here each week, from the start of school until where we are right now.
Right, and we've got spring sports coming up. I'm sure these folks would love to see you go to their games. You can still support Cannon County, Smith County, Gordonsville, Watertown, DeKalb County, because several spring sports are going along. I know probably soccer, you've got flag football, you got baseball, you got softball, and there may be some other sports that doesn't readily come to my mind, but gives you a chance to continue to support these athletes.
Don't want to put too much pressure on too many teams, but we've got some really good spring sport teams in this area too, so don't be surprised if you don't see them at Spring Fling in Murfreesboro come May.
We'll be talking to Seth Price of Watertown, assistant basketball coach, assistant baseball coach a little bit later. We'll be talking to Colin Jones, the head baseball coach for Cannon County, and assistant in basketball, and Jonathan Bush, the assistant football and head softball coach. Of course, Jonathan has won some state championships of Gordonsville. We'll have those for interviews, but let's go ahead and look at the Region 4A girls tournament. When you look at the opening round, not a lot of those were close. Murph, probably the closest was Trousdale and Clay. It wound up 13, but really no surprises, I don't think, in any of those games.
Well, Gordonsville Pickett was pretty close in the semis, but we'll get another good one tonight. I'm planning on going to Gordonsville to watch that Gordonsville-Jackson County game.
Right. The first four quarterfinal games, though, were kind of predictable. And then Jackson eliminates Trousdale County 64-42 in the semis. And then the Pickett-Gordonsville game, Gordonsville is down 1, 3.4 left. Pickett hit a three-pointer to go up 60-59. They were down 2, hit a 3 there with 3.4. Then Gordonsville, Mackenzie Herring dribbles in the front court and they foul her. They only had like 0.4, 0.6 on the clock. Referee said, okay, yes, we know she dribbled 3 times, but we're only going to take 1.7 seconds off the clock from the original clock, I think. And they put 1.7 back up there, and they executed a perfect play from Coach Brock. They stood their center, which was Bale in the corner, and Pickett County center went out there with her, left the middle wide open.
Oh my.
Mackenzie Herring didn't even get a screen. She just back cut her girl, and Burke hit her on a perfect pass for her to lay it in at the buzzer for Gordonsville to win over Pickett 61-60 and send Gordonsville back to the sub-state for the first time in a long, long time.
I had a long telephone conversation with Scott Clemens, the AD over at Gordonsville, and he said people were still in the gym 30 minutes after the game was over, just excited as all get out over what had happened.
Both Jackson County and Gordonsville will be in the sectionals, I'd rather call them sub-state, and they'll be playing Copper Basin or Van Buren on Saturday night. You can go to the TWSAA's website and see what that matchup is after tonight, which is Wednesday night's region final games. Of course, that game at 7 o'clock in Gordonsville. Let's go ahead and look at the Region 4A boys. Everything kind of went as planned in that opening round, with the exception of Clay County. The number 4 team out of District 7 goes to Gordonsville and wins 61-51, but the rest of them were probably as we thought they would be, Murph.
Don't need to think that Jackson County is not a basketball county. There they are again, the boys. We talked about the girls having to go against Gordonsville, but Jackson's got their hands full with Pickett as well.
Jackson boys get a big win at Gordonsville. In the semis, they beat Joe Burns 59-38, and then Pickett County lays the lumber to Clay County 78-58 and sets up a great rematch with Jackson and Pickett boys. That'll be on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Murph, these two teams have met 3 times. Pickett won both regular season games, and in the district tournament championship, which was held at Livingston, Jackson County beats Pickett, and that game may have even been in overtime. So that should be an outstanding game as Van Buren County or South Pitt await the Region once these region finals are done on Thursday night, and that'll be on Monday night of next week on March the 9th.
It's amazing how many, if you look at scores and pairings all across the state, how many situations are one team dominated the regular season and then they get beat in either the district or the region. It's just kind of crazy, but that's what makes basketball so much fun.
All three of those Jackson-Pickett games were extremely close, and I think both of those teams are talented enough, Murph, to not only meet in the region finals, but they can meet in the state championship
Wouldn't that be
game as well.
There wouldn't be anybody left in the Upper Cumberland.
In Byrdstown or Gainsboro for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and look at the Region 3 AA girls tournament. Of course, the big one there, the shocker, is Monterey girls, who did not win a district game all year, wasn't even close. And they go to Grundy County, the number 1 seed out of District 5 AA, and they beat them in Colmont 53-40 to advance to the region semis for the first time in school history.
Oh, that's awesome. And a lot of people would say, well, they should win because the whole tournament, district and regions being played at Monterey. But they've come a long way since the start of the season.
Yeah, but they went to Colmont, with them Grundy
that's
being
right. They were the higher seed.
That's
yeah,
correct.
Okay.
Smith County at home beats Bledsoe. York pummels Marion County, and Cannon beats Sequatchie. And Murph, District 6 AA kind of flexed their muscle against District 5 AA in those quarterfinals.
Yeah, kind of a clean sweep of Region 5, and but a lot of people thought that was going to happen. We just got better girls teams than that one.
That District 5, we saw during the season that we didn't feel like looking at scores that they were that great, and that was the case. Smith County wins the semifinals at Monterey 88-61, and then York gets the win over Cannon 52-37 in the other semis, sets up a fourth meeting between Smith County and York. And oh, by the way, York has beat Smith County 19 straight times dating back to 2017. York this year has beat Smith County twice in the regular season by 15 points each time, and in the district championship by 44-40.
I was going to say that was a pretty close game there, and that ought to be a dandy tonight, I think, between those two.
Of course, just trying to get the monkey off your back and finally get a win against York. That would mean you get to play in Bill Landers Gym on Saturday night against either Pearl Cone or East Nashville.
Monday, we tried to soften up York a little bit for you guys, but it just didn't happen.
York's tough. They've been in this position several times where they've won the region and get to go back to Jamestown and host that sub-state game. And Murph, we've seen through the years that makes a big difference.
And it looks like Pearl Cone and East Nashville are going to be the two teams on the boys' side. No,
it's
okay.
East Nashville and White House Heritage.
That's right. It was Heritage. Thank you.
But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the boys' side of the bracket. All those games, Cannon and Sequatchie a little closer than most people thought, but Bledsoe and Grundy, Murph, I thought had two impressive clubs.
It was a very athletic team from Pikeville, but Cannon County just made the big shots when they needed to, and that was a pretty raucous crowd on both sides of the gym there in Monterey.
Cannon in the semifinal wins at 76-65 over Bledsoe. They did have to come from behind. Bledsoe had an awful lot of talent, I thought. And then Smith County hits 22 of 32 shots. Yep, that's 69% from the floor to beat Grundy 55-45. Owls got behind 4-0. They go on a 14-2 run, and they never looked back. They held a double-figure lead. I think one time in the fourth quarter it got to 9, but kudos to Lane Basile now in his second year getting to the region finals, and the Owls get to the sub-state for the first time since 1991.
That's just hard to believe, but that's the way it is. And I think the reason their shooting percentage was so strong, they took good shots.
Right. And guess who was doing radio for Smith County in 1991?
I don't know. You and me?
That's it.
How about that?
That's right, buddy. Should be a great atmosphere in Monterey on Thursday night at 7 o'clock when these two teams meet again. The Owls are up 2-1 right now, but Cannon County, they're going to have fire in their belly.
It's our turn.
That's right.
It's our turn.
If you don't have anything else to do and you're just a fan of high school basketball, go to Monterey at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. You will enjoy the experience, just the fans, the environment, great concession stand. You get to go through Cookeville, and there's a lot of great places to eat in Cookeville.
High school basketball at its best.
Sure is. And of course, the winner of that game will host either East Nashville or White House Heritage in the sub-state game, which will be on Monday, March the 9th. And the loser will go to East Nashville or White House Heritage in that region, in that sub-state game. Let's go ahead and look at Region 4 AAA. In the opening round, really not much as far as upsets there. All the higher seeds, Murph, won in that opening round of the quarterfinals. But then when you get in the semifinals, White County, who had split with Stone during the regular year, gets a big win. Coach Dodgen's team does, and they get a familiar foe in Upperman. Very low scoring game on Monday night. It was like 19-12 at halftime. It wound up 35-24. Upperman over Watertown. Watertown playing on its home floor. So it's Upperman and White County once again, Murph. But I think it's critical. Whoever wins this game, like we said earlier, they get to play at home in the sub-state.
Yeah, I think Michael Dodgen got all of his good coaching from being at Cannon County and Smith County before he went over to Sparta, right?
Well, he does a heck of a job, no doubt.
He does.
And Upperman happens to be Justin Malden's alma mater. Let's go ahead and look at the boys tournament. You've got a lot of one-sided games. Stone Memorial went to DeKalb and won 55-38. White County goes to Macon, beats them 54-38. So it was basically a District 7 sweep. Upperman beat Stone in the semifinals. White County falls to Cumberland County in the other semifinals. So Upperman and Cumberland County, a team that hadn't been that successful in the boys as of late. We'll have an interview with Jonathan Bush when we return to the box score, brought to you by Wellworth Bank.
At Wellworth Bank, we believe care makes for better banking. It's what turns transactions into trust and customers into neighbors. To us, people are more than numbers. They're families building futures, dreamers starting new journeys. We believe care should come standard because you're worth it. You always have been. Wellworth Bank, care in common. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Regardless of where you call home, you can relax even more when you trust DTC Security to keep tabs on your home and your family's safety.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Secure your home and guard your future with DTC Security.
Don't wait until something happens. Contact DTC Security now and take the worry away at your home.
Why do our customers choose Homeland Community Bank? Because we're committed to providing top-quality financial services while focusing on those personal banking relationships that treat you like the friends and neighbors that you are. From checking and savings to loans of all types, including those focused on business, Homeland Community Bank is truly ready to meet your needs. Contact us today to make the switch to better banking. Homeland Community Bank. Banking by the people, for the people. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And welcome back to the box score, brought to you by Wellworth Bank. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. Justin Malden doing a great job for us, and we've been joined by Gordonsville Tigerettes head coach Jonathan Bush. And Jonathan, I know it's been a transition for you and your team. You lost a lot of quality seniors. Of course, everybody thinks about Katie Plumley going on to UT, but you lost probably a 4-year starter, maybe a 5-year starter at catcher in Bailey Stewart. It's hard to replace players of that caliber.
It is. I think it's one of those things you don't really try to replace that player. You fill in with the players that's worked hard to do those spots. But Kaylee and Bailey and Abby, 3 seniors who did a lot for our program, did a lot for Gordonsville softball, and what we were able to achieve in the past several years has kind of been on their backs. And it is, but we got a good group of seniors this year, and some girls who want to take their place, I guess you'd say, Terry.
Coach, I know you've lost a great player, but she didn't win those games all by herself. Some of them she probably did, but nonetheless, I would think you and all of your players have probably still got a big target on your back, and everybody's wanting to get after Gordonsville this year with her gone, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that seems kind of funny, when you look at the single A team like Gordonsville here in a small town that through the hard work of many people, which actually last night we honored the original 2 coaches of Gordonsville softball.
Wow.
Coach Stanley Wills and Coach Johnny McKinney, who started the program in '96. And it seems weird that now in 2026, 30 years later, that you are the team that a lot of people want to beat. And, we tell the girls every year that when you show up to someone's place or they come to your place, they're going to have their best uniforms on, their crowd's going to be big, and that's what we like. And I think it sets us up for a good situation in the region tournament and the sub-state. And if we're fortunate enough to make it to the state tournament, those big crowds, those big scenes don't bother us. We've kind of been a part of it, and that goes back to all these past players who have did so much for our program.
Coach, you mentioned Johnny McKinney, and I'll tell you, I had many games against him over at the softball park, and he did such an incredible job with the Redlegs in that summer league with slow pitch. But he knows a lot about the game, and that's probably part of the reason Gordonsville softball is so good. It got started under an ace.
Yeah, Johnny, we wanted to do this a little bit later in the year, maybe when Little League was going on, high school had the game, the park was a little bit fuller, but Johnny's having a huge surgery in a couple of days, Friday, or actually Saturday. He's having quadruple bypass, open heart surgery, so we didn't want to pass up the opportunity to, thank him. His granddaughter Lakin plays, and Johnny and Coach Wills, they were pretty happy that, to see come back to the field and just see kind of what they started then. It's the success it's had now is pretty good.
Jonathan, when you look at your schedule, it's always loaded with a lot of good teams. You had Riverdale that you were supposed to play on Monday night, of course, called that off because the girls' basketball is continuing to play, and I know a very integral part of your team in Mackenzie Herron, who hit the game-winning shot in the region semifinals. I know you'll be anxious to get her back.
We will. Again, we kind of still have a couple players in basketball, which, we're hoping for good success for them tonight, and maybe to see them in a couple weeks or a couple days, I guess you'd say, down in Murfreesboro. But we're missing Mackenzie and Bailey to kind of get our full squad together. But we put together, kind of, Terry, like you said at the first, a very hard schedule. And a lot of people ask me at the end of the year, kind of going into this year, what are you going to do with the schedule? And I said, what do you mean? I said, we're still going to put the Riverdales and the Seagulls, and we're going to the Riverdale Classic, where we're facing, I think, one out-of-state team won it last year in Alabama in 2A. We're still facing those type of caliber teams, because I really feel over the years, those teams are what makes you better. And been doing this for 28 years now. I want to win every game, but some of those games that you walk away from a Riverdale Seagull, maybe you didn't win, you learn a lot from. And I think that's the only way you're going to get better for postseason.
Coach, is your district pretty much the same? I know the last few years it's been hard to figure out who is in my district. You know, is yours pretty much the same as it was last year?
No, sir. This is the first year we've actually went totally opposite. We're now facing Trousdale County, Joe Burns, and actually a new team in Antioch called Nashville Collegiate Prep, which everybody knows Trousdale and Joe Burns. Joe Burns has been a team that we've battled with the past couple of years in single A and in the state tournament and in the region. Trousdale County had went to 2A, now we're back in 1A again. So they're in our district with a very good team, a very young team that's going to be very good. And then don't know much about the Nashville team yet, Nashville Collegiate Prep. They supposed to have a really nice campus there in Antioch, so we face them next Monday. So we'll kind of see what we're going with there. So a very small district, but one of those interesting things that every team's good though. Again, don't know anything about Nashville yet, but I know what Joe Burns has, and I know what type of program Trousdale is. So it's going to be a very interesting district season for sure.
Jonathan, I know last year you came up short of winning it all, and that's always a disappointment. But just to get to the state tournament and able to play some games there, that's got to give your team a lot of confidence because, like you said, you played those real hard teams, and then you come back to some real tough competition in the single A level when you get to Murfreesboro.
Yeah, you know, Terry, a good story on that. You know, when I'm walking to the bus last year, you know, those guys that kind of move you around in the buses, this guy comes up, and I mean, I guess he could see that we just got beat, and he stopped me, and he said, Coach, he said, let me tell you something interesting. This guy was pretty up in his age. He said, there ain't but two teams that wish they did better than you this year, and that's Brewston and Eagleville now. He said, there's 98 others, 90% of the other teams wish they were in your spot. And I don't know if I'll ever forget that. Sure. And I've told my girls that to make it to where you did last year is a huge accomplishment. Yeah, we fell short, but was that really short? Was it really short to be one game away? So again, it was a tough feeling, but you know, these girls now this year, I think want to take the eagerness that they feel that they left something short on the field last year and do it again. So there's always goods and bads. You know, it wasn't bad that we weren't able to make it back, but I think it leaves a positive trail for these girls this year from what they know they can do and get back to.
You know, Coach, I think your girls and the boys too at Gordonsville High School, I hope they're not overlooking the fact that your football, your basketball, your golf, your volleyball, your softball and baseball, it just goes on and on and on at Gordonsville, and there's something really crazy special over there that has you all playing in the postseason in virtually every sport. And there's not very many teams, I don't care what class you're talking about, that have that happen to them on a regular basis. Do you have anything that sounds anywhere at all as to what makes that happen in Gordonsville, Tennessee?
Well, I mean, I think you two guys know this town and been around longer than I have, and understand the passion of Gordonsville and know what sports means to so many people. It's very special to see what our athletics at Gordonsville have been able to do. You know, football team, you know, running 12-0 season, 10-0 season for the first time since 1986. The volleyball team making it to the state tournament, state championship, for the first time. Our basketball girls playing tonight. Our baseball team, our golf, everything right now is doing good. And I think I don't know that you can't put it on one hand on how many people to thank for that, because it takes administration and faculty and parents and the community. I mean, just like right now, you know, I said I just left a business here in town who's willing to help us play some stuff in our locker room right now. Everybody likes to see the success of what they're seeing in our town, and you know, I really do appreciate everybody helping us out for sure.
Jonathan, a case in point, I guess, was last year, the deeper you go, I know there was a lot of people that provided meals and they provide drinks, and you have created a monster when it comes to that because of all your successes. And I think you and your coaching staff, first of all, need to be commended because of the excellent job that y'all have done in preparing these young ladies.
We do, Terry, and I know you're one of them that brought biscuits several times as we caught the bus in the morning and head to Murfreesboro. And, if you come by our park today, you're going to look at, we just got a brand new $20,000 scoreboard. It's going to be donated. It's up right now. It's not fully, the top side's not up yet, from Wilson Bank and Trust. And our locker room has been donated through the new bank here in town, the Wellworth Bank. And we've got our new state championship signs up. And it's, people in a small town, people ask me sometimes when they come here from a bigger place, they're like, man, you get a lot of stuff donated. And I'm like, people love our sports here. And again, we wouldn't be able to do it without people, like you, Terry, who help us out tremendously. And, a lot of people don't understand, how small things mean a lot to these girls. They think they just got a $10,000 TV in there because they got it donated, and they're in there fooling with it right now. I mean, it means a lot to these teams to get help. And I really and truly feel that it helps them on the field too, when they feel that they got success or support from outside the field.
Well, Jonathan Bush, we appreciate you visiting with us. We didn't even get a chance to talk about two all-time great softball players in Corey Jennings and Katie Plumley, who are once-in-a-lifetime players, but now you've had two of those, and the beat goes on. Best of luck to the Tigerettes.
Yeah, those two made me look really good, Terry.
For sure. Well, Coach Bush, don't stay at the ballpark too much. I know you spend an awful lot of time there with your family, so best of luck.
Go Tigerettes tonight.
All right, Gordonsville does play in the region championship against Jackson County in girls basketball, and that as at Gordonsville in that region championship, and they'll be in the sub-state. We'll go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll have an interview with Seth Price from Watertown. As we remind you, you're watching The Box Score, brought to you by Wellworth Bank.
Why do our customers choose Homeland Community Bank? Because we're committed to providing top-quality financial services while focusing on those personal banking relationships that treat you like the friends and neighbors that you are. From checking and savings to loans of all types, including those focused on business, Homeland Community Bank is truly ready to meet your needs. Contact us today to make the switch to better banking. Homeland Community Bank. Banking by the people, for the people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Regardless of where you call home, you can relax even more when you trust DTC Security to keep tabs on your home and your family's safety.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Secure your home and guard your future with DTC Security.
Don't wait until something happens. Contact DTC Security now and take the worry away at your home.
At Wellworth Bank, we believe care makes for better banking. It's what turns transactions into trust and customers into neighbors. To us, people are more than numbers. They're families building futures, dreamers starting new journeys, We believe care should come standard because you're worth it. You always have been. Wellworth Bank. Care in common. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And welcome back into the box score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. And we've been joined by Seth Price of the Watertown Athletics. Of course, Seth had football season where he's a statistician. Then he gets to basketball and helps his wife Brenna with the girls basketball team. Their season just ended this week. And then because he doesn't have anything else to do, he's an assistant on the baseball field with Coach Purvis. Seth, you need something else to do, buddy?
I stay pretty busy, but I enjoy it. I love this community. I love these kids. So I love doing it.
Seth, if you're at a small community like you are, although Watertown seems to be growing every time I go over there, it's bigger than it was before, it seems like. But if you're a coach and you grew up in that community, those kind of things that Terry just mentioned are going to happen. You want to be around the kids and try and make them as good as they can be.
Absolutely. I played 3 sports when I was in school, so that's kind of what I've known. You go from one season to the next and do what you can. And like I said, I love doing it. I love being around sports. I love being around all athletics. I love being around these kids. And I get to work for 2 pretty good coaches, if I do say so myself. I know one's my wife, but working for her and working for Coach Purvis is great. And, like I said, I enjoy it. I love it, and I love this community.
Coach, with her schedule being the way it is, it makes it a whole lot easier for both of you because you can't really say anything because you're doing what the other one's doing. So it kind of works both ways, doesn't it?
That's right. We're both pretty busy, so it works out well for us.
Good thing you doesn't have 4 kids, right, Coach?
That's right.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Seth, I want to talk to you about, first of all, a role that you are now doing, replacing a legend, and that's been the stat guy replacing Ken Fountain at Watertown. I know you take a lot of pride in that. You and I have met on several occasions of what I do at Smith County, but that's something I know you take a lot of interest in and want it done right.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ken was a staple to this community. We were very sad, when he passed, and I saw a need, and I just tried to fill it. I think that it's important. He would tell you this, and I'll tell you this. We both do that for the kids. We want to be able to highlight their accomplishments. We want to be able to highlight, when they do something and they're successful. And then in 10 years, we want those people to be able to look back at what they accomplished and be recognized for that and be able to see that. We want their kids to be able to see that, and so what he did is irreplaceable. I'll never be able to fill his shoes. I'll never be able to be as detailed as he was, but if I can keep a little bit of that going, I think that I've done a pretty good job of filling those shoes. But like you said, it's a lot of work. And it's a volunteer thing. I do it because I love it, and I love this. Like I said, I love this community. I think that it's important to recognize the history, to keep a good record of what's going on here. We've got a lot of good sports teams. We do a good job here. We've got good coaches. We've got good kids, and that needs to be recognized. So that's why I do it. I don't think I'll ever be able to fill Mr. Ken Fountain's shoes, though. That's for sure.
Terry, I'm glad you mentioned him because back in the late 80s when I started my magazine, he was the guy that I went to if I needed something for Watertown. He always had what I was looking for, was very prompt at getting that information to me when I was up against a deadline, and you don't see that in a lot of places. You really don't.
Definitely don't. Seth, when you look, being the athlete that you were, score more points than anybody else in a basketball uniform, and then on the football threw more yards than anybody in Watertown's history. When you're in small town USA, how much kids look up to you. And I know that having played there and now having coached there, It's just a special feel when you walk into the gym and you see those kids that were kids when you were donning the purple uniform now maybe even have kids or come to the games, and just a great friendship there.
It is. This is a special place, and I said that to somebody the other day. It's a community, but it's a family. I mean, what we did this year in girls basketball, our community supported us. They were here and they were loud, and this town will support you. They'll do what they need to do. They'll donate their time. They'll donate resources, and it's just a special place. And I know that everybody says that about where they're from, but we believe that here. We think that we can continue to be special. We think that we can continue to have good programs, like I said, because we've got good people, and that's what it takes. It's the people in the community, it's the people, it's coaches, and it's the kids, and everybody working together to achieve the goal, which is to give those kids the opportunity to represent their community.
Smith County and Watertown have banged together on the diamond for several years, but this year, with y'all's move up to 3A, it's going to be a different district. It's going to be Macon County, it's going to be DeKalb County, it's going to be Watertown, and it's going to be Central Magnet. And that's usually 4 good baseball programs.
It is. We're excited for the challenge. We're excited for our new district. We still got Smith County on the schedule. It's always great to play them. Coach Malone does a great job over there, and we're excited to be in our new district. We've played DeKalb and we played Macon County in the past. We've been in the district with them before. Central Magnet, obviously, they're kind of one that we haven't seen a bunch, but they've got a good program. They do a great job over there as well. But we're excited for the challenge, and hopefully we can put together a good year.
Seth, it seems that your name and the word ball are synonymous with each other in Watertown. At what point of your career as a player did you think, I think I could be a coach over here?
Well, I grew up in the house with a coach. I think that when I was growing up, my dad was an assistant coach at Mount Juliet. It was nothing. We'd hop in the car and I'd ask him. I'd say, "Where are we going to scout tonight?" So I've been around it my whole life. Maybe I didn't always think that I wanted to coach at Watertown, but I knew that athletics was going to be a part of my life in some way, in some shape, some form. This is what I've always wanted to do. This long before I ever started playing high school athletics, did I think that I wanted to coach. Like I said, it's what I've known. It's what I've always done.
All right, Coach, you've got your father-in-law, Jeff Luttrell, who's fixing to be without a job. He's announced that he's retiring. So I'm sure you and Brenna have several projects around your house that he could you could sure use help with.
I think so. I think we need to put him to work. No, when you think about people that are as respected as he is in our community, he deserves this retirement. The work that he's done. I'm not saying this just because he was my father-in-law. He was my principal before he was my father-in-law. He kept me in line many times over my 4 years at Watertown High School, and I'm excited for him. I know he's excited, but we are going to miss him in Wilson County. There's no doubt about that.
Seth, I can probably count on one hand the number of coaches that are in a situation like you and your wife are. You both were great athletes at your high school. You both decided to go into coaching. It's a very unique situation that you all have, but it's one that I think you both enjoy a lot. You can learn a lot from each other, and you're not necessarily trying to outdo the other one, I would not think. Am I right in my supposition there?
Yeah. I mean, we understand how fortunate we are to get to do what we are together. I know there's people who, one spouse is working at this school coaching and another one is at another school coaching, and that's hard. And we've got our own challenges, working together here. We've got to learn how to leave it at the gym sometimes. I think we do a good job with that, but we are so fortunate. I'm fortunate to have married someone who loves the community, probably even more than I do, and so we mirror that. We kind of echo the same things. We talk about that a lot, that we want people to know that both of us love Watertown, and I think that we do the best that we can in doing that.
Seth, when you look at this year's Watertown baseball team, what's the expectations?
Terry, we want to play hard every day. That's the big thing. We want to, when you think about Watertown baseball, you're going to think about pitching and defense. And I think that we've got a great pitching staff. We've got, a lot of our infielders are returning, a lot of our outfielders are returning. And so, we want to be able to play our base baseball at the end of the year. And it's a process and it's a grind. Baseball it's different than basketball. It's an 8-week sprint, it feels like. And so you're playing 4 days a week, and we're trying to build every day so that when we get to May, we get to the postseason, we're playing our best baseball.
Coach, I'm going to leave sports altogether. I've got a burning question. Who asked the first one out? Did you ask your wife, or did she ask you?
It was probably me. I think that I had to beg her to go out with me. I definitely asked her. I think it took a little bit of convincing for her to go out with me, but how fortunate am I?
Seth, I know that you've enjoyed working with Brenna during basketball, and now she's got to be on the opposite or on the other side of the fence of you in baseball. But best of luck to Watertown. We appreciate you visiting with us.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Seth.
We've been visiting with Seth Price, assistant basketball, assistant baseball coach, and statistician for Watertown. And when we come back, we'll have Cannon County's Colin Jones, the baseball coach and assistant basketball coach, as we remind you, you're watching the Box Score, brought to you by Wellworth Bank.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Why do our customers choose Homeland Community Bank? Because we're committed to providing top-quality financial services while focusing on those personal banking relationships that treat you like the friends and neighbors that you are. From checking and savings to loans of all types, including those focused on business, Homeland Community Bank is truly ready to meet your needs. Contact us today to make the switch to better banking. Homeland Community Bank. Banking by the people, for the people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Wellworth Bank, we believe care makes for better banking. It's what turns transactions into trust and customers into neighbors. To us, people are more than numbers. They're families building futures, dreamers starting new journeys. We believe care should come standard because you're worth it. You always have been. Wellworth Bank, care in common. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Regardless of where you call home, you can relax even more when you trust DTC Security to keep tabs on your home and your family's safety.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Secure your home and guard your future with DTC Security.
Don't wait until something happens. Contact DTC Security now and take the worry away at your home.
Welcome back into the Box Score, brought to you by Wellworth Bank. We've been joined by Colin Jones. And
I know him.
You know him?
I know him. I know his mom and his grandparents. And
I'm old enough to know when he played. I mean, I know I don't look that old, but I am. I could fish up some old books, Colin, if you'd like me to.
Let's not go that far.
Let's not go there. That's right, Colin. I'll help you in that one, buddy. Okay.
Colin, I know you're still involved with basketball. Got a big win last night over Bledsoe County to advance to play the Owls of Smith County in the region championship. But I guess you've got one eye on the baseball team and one eye on the basketball team right now.
Yeah, luckily we have basketball practice during school and baseball practice after school. So from about 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I'm pretty covered about every day.
Coach, last night had to be one of the most emotional games that I've done since I started doing Cannon County High School athletics on the radio. But our crowd, Cannon County's crowd, and Bledsoe's crowd was just lit up all night long, didn't you think?
I thought it was an awesome atmosphere, and I'll tell you this, just get ready to bring you popcorn for tomorrow, and it's going to be even better crowd, I can tell you.
I think you're right.
It's the fourth game that we played with each other, and our crowd's awesome. Bledsoe's crowd was awesome. Smith County's crowd's just as good as all of them, and it should be a fun atmosphere for sure.
I want to be a little hoggy. We've kind of battled pretty good off of the floor as well as on the floor with Smith County. But nothing would suit me better than to see the Owls and the Lions in the state tournament. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome. And as you can tell, we've all made good relationships with each other. Coach Bassell does a great job. And as you know, we're friends with Seth and all of them up there with the baseball team. So we would love to see all of us at the Glass House for sure.
Colin, when you look, of course, baseball season is backed up to last Monday when it got started. I know that you've had to pick and choose and rely on your assistant coaches in baseball in order to try maybe to get even a few games in. Have you tried to play at any while basketball is still going in? Because I know basketball still going on. I know you've got several kids that will be on the baseball field once basketball is over.
Yes, we actually played Monday night against Grundy County, which is a regional opponent, and we was able to win that one 12-4. We're playing again Friday and Saturday, so I just try to schedule. Luckily, TLSLA puts out the schedule for when the region and district tournaments should be, and I try to schedule around all those so that we can make sure that we can double up at the same time.
Tell us a little about this year's Cannon County baseball team. What's your strengths, and how do you pose to make your weaknesses a little bit stronger?
Let's see. Defense and pitching is going to be our strong suit this year, which is what we're looking forward to. We're a young group, but we've got a few seniors that's going to lead us the way, pitching-wise in the field. And honestly, I mean, it's no secret we struggled to hit the ball at some points of the year last year, but our small ball and base running is going to be a big thing for us this year. So I think we had 12 stolen bases the other night against Grundy.
Wow.
And then we had about 6 sacrifice bunts that were successful. Moving runners turned into bunts for hits. It was a good thing to see from a small ball perspective.
Did any of the basketball players have a chance, or to get on the field, or do they wait until basketball's completely over before they join the baseball team?
I do not let them hit the field until basketball is over.
Okay.
That's just the fairness for the basketball team, fairness for them, and everything. You never know what could go wrong.
Right.
I mean, you can roll an ankle walking to class, but I'm not going to let you do it in a baseball field. So
there you go.
They're in the dugout. They were all there cheering, so it was a good atmosphere in Woodbury on Monday night.
Good deal.
Coach, we were talking about the atmosphere earlier. There's a lot of teams across the state of Tennessee that never get to enjoy that at a sporting event. How special is it to live here in Middle Tennessee, have the fan support that you do, the community support that you do, the faculty and administration, to make that such a special thing for your students?
It's awesome for sure. I think we've got some of the best fans in all of Tennessee for sure. I mean, you saw at the last sub-state game we hosted was a complete sellout. Every road game we went to Hickman County last year for a sub-state, and our fans were lined up as far as anything, all the way up to the top. Every game we go to on the road, we've got signs, we've got students. It's a pretty good atmosphere.
Colin, I've made the comment more than once during basketball season, more times than not, when we were playing on the road, we had more fans than the school that we were playing at, and that speaks volumes. I think Smith County is probably the same way. Bledsoe County last night showed that they were that way as well. It's really neat, these small communities, and that's why I always prefer to go to a small communities game if I have a choice, because I know everybody in town is going to be at the game, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. We went to Westview at Christmas, and we had one of the biggest crowds there.
Wow.
And we had some families that's not even affiliated with the kids that were there, and it was a pretty cool feeling. Whenever we're up there and we're playing Peabody, it was like a number 3 and 4 at that time in the AP polls. And both crowds were going at it, and it was awesome.
And Peabody's
atmosphere to play.
Peabody's less than an hour away from Martin, too, so that speaks volumes.
Correct. They had a big crowd.
Yeah.
Coach, when you look at the success, I know you got to go to the state tournament as a head coach. It seems like that ever since then that your program has flourished. You got a lot, not that you didn't have community support before, but you've got a lot of kids now that want to play baseball for the Lions because of that success.
Yes, sir. That is a true statement to the great kids that we had that year and the kids that's built through it. Our seniors this year was actually freshmen on that state tournament team, and they've just kind of stayed with it. Two of our seniors that was on the team as 4-year starters or 4-year players, they actually got to play in the state tournament, and they said that was the best they've ever got to play in. It was a great atmosphere, and they just want to make it again and again. And every year we've been to region or to the district semis, and it's just a continued growth every year. I think this is our biggest number that we had, and we've got 25 kids on the roster.
Coach, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do what now? No, you're good.
I was going to say that situation 3 years ago was really tough for me because you all were playing on one side of town in Murfreesboro, and my grandson's team was playing on the other side of town. So fortunately, I was able to get to see both of those games. But it's really special as a parent to see your kids out there on the field like that. And I'm getting to know a whole lot of parents, basketball parents, this year, maybe even more so than last year, a year before, because they never miss a game. And it's been fun to watch Cannon County boys basketball in particular this year, for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. That is for sure. Just growing. We got the kids playing all the multiple sports. All the sports are having success. It's just going to continue to grow throughout the years, hopefully, and get some more wins, more state tournament runs, hopefully.
Coach, with that said, I'd like to get your comments on this new transfer rule. We've got, 5 or 6 6A schools in football less than 15, 20 minutes away. Do you anticipate players from Murfreesboro maybe changing their mind and wanting to come to school in Woodbury?
You could. I'll be honest with y'all. I personally think it's kind of like the Wild Wild West in Murfreesboro anyways. I feel like kids are transferring before it's even been legal, and they've always got to play as it is.
Sure.
But if you look at it, the longer you look at it, it can be, there's good to it, there's bad to it. It depends on how it's regulated. Will we get a few here? Yes. Will we lose a few? I hope not. But you never know what's going to happen at that point. But I also don't like if you came in as a freshman and sophomore and you're attached with this coach and that coach can pack up and leave and you're stuck there, then I also see that point of the side also. So,
Colin, when you look at, being there in Cannon County, I think, of course, I've known Coach Nave and you and of course, Coach Nave's way older brother, right? That helps him.
Sure.
But anyways,
how much did you get paid to say that, huh?
Jared will pay me tonight or tomorrow night when the
There you go.
What I was going to say is, when you have alumnus that are sitting on the bench and get an opportunity to come back to their alma mater and coach, that's something very special.
It is for sure. And we told our guys a couple years ago, we all played in a sub-state. We never got the honor of getting to play in a state tournament, and we said we'd trade everything we ever had to play on Murphy Center one time. So our guys loved it whenever they got to. Getting to coach in it was an awesome atmosphere, and hopefully we can get to do that one more time. And even with the baseball aspect, we were playing in the playing games, most of the games, in the district tournament, not making it out much farther. And getting to go to the state tournament, region tournament, that was real special for our programs, and just getting to see it from both sides, it's a cool perspective.
All right, Coach, I've got to ask this question. Y'all dress up more than any coaching staff in the state. You don't see a soft polo or whatever. So how much does Jared Nave, give y'all just for all the different suits and ties and
don't forget the tie clasp.
Yeah,
also,
the tie clips and all that.
Yeah.
Surely he gives y'all a huge stipend for that.
Oh, we get absolutely nothing. Hey, I'll tell you this, though. We all wear our tie clips besides Coach Davenport because he's new with us. But that was actually my wedding gift for Coach Nave and Coach Jacob for being in my wedding. They got tie clips with their names engraved on them.
Oh,
and stuff like that. So we wear them all the time. And we take pride in the way we dress. We like the way it is. I know some people think it's old school or whatever, but it's a fun thing we like to look at. So,
Coach, I'll have to echo what you were talking about as a coach and as a player, being able to play in a state event like that. But it's just as thrilling for us that do broadcasts as well. And having done that for Cannon County a couple of years ago was pretty special for me too.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. We appreciate it a ton. I know everybody talks about it. We love when fans come out to games, but when the ones that can't, we love the broadcast from Bill to follow along. They say it's just like being at the game. So
thank you.
That's kudos to y'all.
Well, Colin Jones, we appreciate you visiting with us, and best of luck, not only in basketball, but once it's over, the rest of the way in baseball.
Hey, I appreciate you guys.
You know, Colin Jones is a busy guy. We appreciate him taking time for us.
Yeah, I'm surprised I don't see him in the courthouse a little bit more, but his mom does such a great job. They don't really need his presence in there at all.
Murph, this wraps up 30 weeks.
Wow.
We had 15 in football, now 15 in basketball, and spring sports upon us. I know a lot of teams anxious for baseball and softball, flag football, and other sports to kick in. And, you still have an opportunity to get out and watch these high school athletes perform. Call the school, they'll get you a schedule, and I'm sure love to have you there.
It's been a true blessing to be able to do this and to do it not just for one team, but do it for 5 different schools. And that's pretty special that we can be that close to that many different schools and that many kids and coaches.
We want to thank Wellworth Bank. Justin Malden always doing a great job for us week after week. So if he has to fill in, he does. We appreciate that. I know Seth Hackett did that once. We want to thank all our fine sponsors and most of all the viewers. I get stopped at the tournament all the time. We watch the show, we enjoy it. We ask you that you patronize these businesses. If you can't buy something from them, call them and tell them we appreciate you sponsoring the show because we watch it each and every week.
I've got one question for the guy behind the screen. Do we have to turn in our shirts or can we keep them?
Hopefully we can keep them. For Justin Malden and Murphy Fair, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from the box score.